Welcome back, class 11th. In this chapter of secularism, we will discuss the concept of secularism. We will discuss how Indian secularism has evolved and how it is fundamentally different from Western secularism as well as similar to it. So we will see all these things, aspects of the secularism. Then we will also discuss, is secularism anti-religious? And after discussing all these things, you will be able to answer the actual meaning of secularism. When anybody asks you what is secularism, you will be able to answer it in entirety, that what is the real meaning of being a secular person, being a secular citizen of India. Now, starting with the topic, first we will see what is secularism. To understand secularism, first we need to delve into some examples so that we can get the background of secularism. We can understand how secularism came into picture. So here you can see examples of Jews are given, how they are being treated differently, how they are being discriminated in Europe during the Second World War. Also you will see conditions of the minorities in the state of Pakistan and Bangladesh, where minorities like Hindus, Christians and Sikhs and other sects of Islam are being treated differently from the majority people. So all these things are based, and discrimination is based on the religious identity of the minority community. So when we say there is discrimination, there exists discrimination between the two communities, so we are saying that majority community is discriminating against the minority community just because minority community is from different religion, it follows different faith and is from different community as that of the majority. So first we will discuss inter-religious domination under this aspect. Here you will see three examples are given, that in 1984 when Indira Gandhi was killed by her bodyguards, there erupted a Sikh massacre, and violence erupted against Sikh community in Delhi and other parts of India. Then you will see second example of Hindu Kashmiri Pandits who were thrown out, who were by use of violence from the Muslim community of Kashmir with the help of militants from Pakistan. Then you will see Muslim being victimized, and they are subject of violence in the state of Gujarat during the post Godhra riots. So in all these three examples you will see one or the other community is inflicting violence on the other communities who are in minority in that particular region. In Kashmir, Hindu Kashmiri Pandits were in minority, so they were being treated differently. In other parts of the states, Sikh were in minority, so they were discriminated with, they were the subjects of violence, and so is the case with Muslims in Gujarat riot case. Then you will see that in each of these cases, members from one community were targeted by the other community because they had different religious identity from that of the community who was targeting these sects and these religion, because they were treated differently, that these people are not part of this region. For example, if you take Kashmiri Pandits, so Kashmiri Pandits were treated differently because people from those that region say that they do not belong to this region as it is region of Islam, and that is why they were treated differently. So here secularism comes into play. That means secularism is the doctrine that opposes such form of discrimination based on the inter-religious identity and inter-faith identity. So secularism opposes this view that even though people belong to different religious faith, different religion communities, they are not to be treated differently based on their religious identity, because each and every person has the right to follow their own religion. This is mentioned in the Indian Constitution as well. So you'll see secularism is first and foremost a doctrine that opposes all such forms of inter-religious domination. That means when one religion is dominating the other religion, this means inter-religious, between two religions. So most of the time and almost all of the time, I am saying 99% of the time, many of us are not aware that the inter-religious domination of secularism is its one aspect. The other aspect of secularism is intra-religious domination. That means if you ask anyone that what is meaning of secularism or are you a secular person, so they'll say yes, I am a secular person because I don't have any problem with people from XYZ communities. If that person is from A community, he will say that I don't have any problem, I don't have any conflicting views with the with the people from B, C, D, E communities, है ना? So he will distinguish, he will define secularism on the basis of inter-religious domination. But the other aspect is not studied about. Most of us are not aware about the other aspect, which is intra-religious domination. This means intra-religious domination means that within that particular faith, within that particular religion, there are different communities, there are different sects, there are different groups who follow different set of ideas, who have some same faith, but still they follow different, you can say, ideas, है ना, cultural values, even though they belong to the same religion. For example, if you will discuss that in Muslims you have Shias and Sunnis and Ahmadiyas. In Hinduism we have upper caste, lower caste. So as you can see, there exists intra-religious domination in every religion, be it Hinduism, be it Islam. You can see there are multiple communities within that group and they try to assert their dominance. So secularism not only opposes inter-religious domination, but it also opposes intra-religious domination, because no one community should be above others and they all should be treated equally. Now, moving on, we will see secular state. How any state can be made secular and how any country can be made secular so that each and every community can flourish and they can pursue their well-being. So first we can, what we can do is that we need to educate everyone about differences in the communities. See, most of the time we see difference as something which is not in, which is in negative sense, but difference is not always in negative sense. For example, in a family of four, if there are two kids and two parents, there might be some differences of thoughts within each of them, है ना? Some people might prefer to eat pizza, some people might prefer to eat burger, some people might prefer to eat home cooked food, and so on. So in a family we can solve all these things even though we have difference of opinions. So why not, when we why cannot we apply these same things on a larger level when we discuss about religion? So in a secular state, first what we need to do is we need to enlighten our people, we need to educate people about the differences of the communities, about the rich cultural heritage of each and every community and the ideas of their communities and how they have contributed towards the success of country of India or any other country in which they are living. So what I mean to say is that education can be the one way of helping to change the mindset of people, because when you are educated, you are shown new facts, you are given new facts, you try to analyze them on the rational basis, you know, you are taught how to rationalize things. So when you are given all these techniques and tools, you can surely understand how other community works and behaves and how they are different from you, and how that being different is not in a negative sense but in a positive manner. For example, whenever you read about Indian nationalism, we see many people from the Muslims community, many people from the Hindu community, they all are coming together, presenting their own views of nationalism and then working together to overthrow the British. For example, in the 1920, you must have read about non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement was merged with Khilafat movement. Sorry, Khilafat movement. So why this was done? Because British were trying to divide and rule India by dividing Hindus and Muslims. So what Gandhi ji and other leaders did, they merged non-cooperation, NCM, non-cooperation movement, and Khilafat movement to show that solidarity exists between Hindus and Muslims. So these kinds of things, when we read about these kinds of things, we see how in the past each one of us were greatly connected to each other, है ना? How we were friends, how we were like brothers, brothers in arms against the imperial powers of British. So all these things inspire us in a way that we see goodness of people from all aspects of life and all forms of religion. We see there are good people in Hinduism, see there are good people in Islam, and we also see there are bad people in Hinduism as well as bad people in Islam. So, due to mischief of few people, we cannot generalize the fact that people from this community are against the another community. For example, if I say some people are trying to divide Hindus and Muslims, so those people's personal agenda might be to divide Hindus and Muslims so that they can fuel their ambition of getting into power. But if you see, those mischievous people are found in every religion, in whether in Hinduism, whether in Islam. So what we need to do is we need to educate ourselves so that we can see through these devious tricks, and we can come together as whole nation, group of citizens, and we all need to work together so that we can make our society less ridden with inter-community conflict and religious discrimination. If we will work together, we will understand how other people are working and what are their ways. So we need to accept those ideas as well, and other people will accept our ideas as well. So when we pursue something together, we will overcome these conflicts of inter-religious and intra-religious domination both. Then now, the first step towards a secular state can be education, is one way of helping. But what about the government at the helm who is running this state? So, what we need to do is we need to ensure that the government or the politicians who are ruling our country or state need to be secular, because if they belong to any particular religion and they pursue the policy of this religious division, what it will do is it will give power to certain sections of the people, and they will try to dominate other religions, you know. So you will see that at the helm of the government, at the top of the government, we need some people who are not trying to pursue this communal divide, rather they are trying to assimilate each and every religion. For example, we see a state governed directly by a priestly order is called theocratic. That means any state whose a theocracy is headed by a person from that particular religion, and that person is not just a follower of that religion, that person is some kind of priest, imam, and a father, or any particular position from that religion. For example, if you see, here it is given, such as papal states in Europe, medieval times, or in recent times in the Taliban controlled state. Papal states of Europe. What does it mean? Papal states of Europe meant कि at that point of time in Europe, the states were controlled by the popes and the fathers of that particular country or that region. Pope is the head of all Christian world. So under Pope, there are different factions, and all these priestly orders were in rule, sorry, were ruling Europe at that point of time. So these papal states were headed by person of that particular religion who is not just a follower, rather a official of that religion. For example, if I say that this region is controlled by an imam, let's give another example. In the recent elections of New York, you have seen a person of Indian origin, है ना, Indian origin Muslim, he won mayor elections in New York, okay? He won mayor elections in New York. He is an Indian Muslim. But if you see, that is not against secularism, because he is follower of Islam, but he is not an official of Islam like Maulana or Imam. In his place, if some person belonging to that religion, Maulana or Imam, might have won that election and he would have tried to impose his religious policies over others, then this would have been an example of theocratic state. But a person of Muslim community winning an election and representing people is not an example of anti-secularism, because that person is following his religion in due to his personal choice. He is not propagating any ideas and views from that religion. I think it's clear. And if you have any problem regarding this, please do comment so that I can take up your doubts and explain it in the other videos, or I will make videos regarding your doubts only. So kindly do comment all your doubts in any video of class 11th, or if you're listening from any other class, if you're from class 12th or 9th and 10th, whatever class you're from, kindly do comment your doubts so that I can take up your doubts and make another video about it. Now, so what we have seen, papal states in Europe in medieval times or recent Taliban control states. So Taliban control state, you can see that people here are fanatic. What does it fanatic means? That they are trying to impose their religion over everyone. They are trying to sorry, forcefully impose their religion. That means what they have abolished women education, they have abolished walking of women in public, है ना? We are talking about women. Why? Because you can see in the recent example in news everywhere that women are forbidden to go in public without any male member of the family accompanying her, or they are not allowed to they are not allowed to join any services, they are not allowed to work in any NGOs or news media channels like this. Earlier it was not so, but as the Taliban started taking control in 2021, the things have changed and it has turned into a kind of theocracy, that is lacking separation between religious and political institutions. A state known for their hierarchies and oppressions and reluctance to allow freedom of religion to members of other religious groups. So there is a lack of separation between religious and political institutions in Taliban. In Taliban controlled Afghanistan, you can see that they are trying to impose religion on everyone rather than managing their country on a political from secular lines, from political institutions that they have overtaken. They are imposing religious verdicts and they are imposing religious rules on everyone. So this is one way of making a state secular, to keep theocracy, to keep religion away. Now some of you might think that, sir, now that we have separated theocracy or religion from political institutions, we have a secular state. No, this is not the case, because even though you don't see religion at the helm of, at the power of the political institutions, at top of institutions, there exists some kind of alliance between political institutions and religion in any country, as many of the countries are non-theocratic, that they do not follow any particular religion, or they do not give any power to any particular religion at the top of political institutions, but they have an alliance with any particular religion. So for example, you can see the state of Pakistan. In state of Pakistan, the official state religion is Sunni Islam. As I have told you earlier, it is the official state religion of Sunni Islam. So even though Pakistan says that we are non-theocratic country, it has an alliance with Sunni Islam sect. Okay? So what this will do is, this will create differences between the other sects of Islams and the other religious minorities, as the political institutions at the top will be influenced by the leaders of Sunni Islam. They will be following orders, or they will be listening to the leaders of Sunni Islam. So what this will do is, this will again create a sense of discrimination and a line of divide between other minority communities within that religion and the other religious communities as well. So as you can see, even though Pakistan is non-theocratic, but still has an official religion, Sunni Islam. So here we have combination of state showing itself as non-theocratic and then associating itself with particular form of religion. So to be truly secular, state must not only refuse to be theocratic but also have no formal legal alliance with any religion. So what this line means is, if you want to be truly secular, if you want to show that yes, we are truly secular, then not only we will not only they will not associate with any religion, there will also be no theocracy, no form of alliance, nothing at all with any religion at all, so that they are truly secular in nature. Because if you have any kind of association, even simplest form, even a 2% of association, that will be shown in political institutions, that will show that will be shown in your major policy decisions, because at some point of time they will be influenced by one way or the other. So as we can see that separation of state from separation of religion from state is unnecessary but not a sufficient ingredient of a secular state. That means it is necessary, but still we cannot say that a religion is secular. Sorry, a country is secular just because it has separated itself from the particular religion. For being secular or to commit to a secular state, the state must be committed to principles and goals which are at least partly derived from non-religious sources. What this means is that even though state can say, okay, I am not associating with any religion, that does not make that particular state a secular state. To be a secular state, what state needs to do is they need to have some form of laws and principles which are from the outside which are from the outside the ambit of religious sources. That means these laws are not derived from any religion in particular, or they are not influenced by any religion in particular. They are from the outside non-religious sources, and these may include peace, religious freedom, freedom from religiously grounded oppression, discrimination and exclusion, and also inter-religious and intra-religious equality. That means principles like peace and religious freedom, and give religious freedom means that each and every citizen of a country has religious freedom to pursue their own religion, whatever religion they like, whatever religion they want to follow. It is up to them that whatever they want to decide is good for them. A state should give this religious equality, this religious freedom to each and every one. On the similar lines, freedom from the religiously grounded oppression. That means कि religions should not oppress other religions, or religions should not oppress people within that particular religion due to some differences, or there should be no discrimination. There should not be any kind of discrimination and exclusion, whether it is inter-religious or intra-religious. That means if people are visiting temple, then people from the upper caste can also visit temple, people from lower caste can also visit temple. This should be the case, not the otherwise, that this temple is meant for upper caste only, this temple is meant for lower caste only. This should not be the case, as it will deepen the discrimination and dividing lines between of the intra-religious domination. In the same way, we cannot say that Sunni Islam is better than Shia versus Ahmadiyya. Why? Because each and every sect of that religion is important, as they have importance, as they have contributed towards that particular religion in some way or the other. So we cannot, or state should not we, that state should not differentiate between different religious sects and different religious identities as well. So, to promote these ends, the state must be separated from organized religion and its institutions for the sake of some of these values. That means it should be separated from organized religion. That means a state should have its own existence different from the religion. So this separation of religion from the state can have different forms. We will discuss two of the forms, the Western secular concept and the Indian concept of secularism. Western model of secularism and the Indian model of secularism. So these two ideas can show you how a state can be separated from the organized religion and how separation can take any form. In Western form, we will also discuss how secularism has taken place, and in Indian concept of secularism also we will see how state has separated from the religion and in what way Indian model is different from the Western model or Western concept of secularism. So we will see this in next part. Thank you class. Have a wonderful day. See you in next. Sorry. See you in next. Thank you. If you have any doubt, kindly do comment. And in next part, we will be completing this. Thank you.